Welcome back to the channel to the fascinating world of American numismatics. Today, we explore the captivating Kennedy $50, a prized treasure that blends history, artistry, and collector appeal. Whether struck at the Denver Mint or issued without a mint mark, this iconic coin stands as a tangible connection to the past and continues to captivate enthusiasts worldwide. Join us as we uncover why this remarkable $50 remains a sought-after collectible and a timeless symbol of American heritage. Top 10. First up, the 1973 D. Kennedy $50 stands as a fascinating and highly sought-after piece within modern American numismatics, admired for its subtle rarity, historical resonance, and enduring collector appeal. While not widely encountered in everyday circulation, this Denver minted issue captivates enthusiasts because of its unique production circumstances and its strong connection to a transformative era in U.S. history. For collectors who appreciate coins that blend symbolism, strained availability, and aesthetic strength, the 1973 D $50 represents a prized treasure that continues to grow in desirability. Its status as a coin primarily available through official mint sets adds to its mystique, making it a compelling target for both seasoned numismatists and ambitious newcomers. Historical context: a coin born in a transitional era. The 1973 D. Kennedy $50 was minted during a period of economic adjustment and cultural change in the United States. Issued just a decade after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the coin remained a powerful tribute to his legacy. By 1973, silver had already been removed from circulating $50, marking a new chapter in U.S. coinage focused on copper-nickel-clad compositions. The Denver Mint produced this issue not for general circulation, but specifically for inclusion in official U.S. mint sets, reflecting a shift in how collectors accessed contemporary coinage. This limited distribution method firmly ties the coin to a unique moment in American monetary history, placed within the Kennedy $50 series. Within the broader Kennedy $50 series, the 1973 D issue occupies a distinctive and respected position. Unlike earlier circulation strikes or later high mintage releases, this coin belongs to a small group of early 1970s issues that were never released for everyday commerce. As a result, collectors often regard it as a semi-key modern date when assembling a complete date-hand mint collection. Its role as a bridge between the early silver era and later mass-produced clad issues strengthens its historical importance and reinforces its reputation as a tangible link to evolving mint policies. Minting location and production significance. Struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the bold D mint mark on the obverse, the 1973 D $50 reflects the precision and consistency for which the facility is known. The Denver Mint's role during this period was crucial, supplying high-quality coins intended primarily for collectors rather than circulation. This limited production pathway significantly influenced how many examples survived in premium condition. Because most coins remained sealed in mint packaging, pristine specimens are attainable but still far scarcer than typical circulation issues from other years. Obverse design: a timeless presidential portrait. The obverse of the 1973 D. Kennedy $50 features Gilroy Roberts' iconic left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy. The design captures dignity, optimism, and strength, qualities that continue to resonate deeply with collectors. The inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" frame the portrait with balanced elegance, while the date, 1973, and the discrete D mint mark anchor the coin historically. In high-grade condition, the obverse displays sharp hair detail, smooth fields, and strong luster that elevate its visual appeal. Reverse design: symbolism of strength and unity. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's presidential seal design delivers powerful symbolism. The heraldic eagle, clutching arrows, and an olive branch represents both readiness and peace, reinforcing enduring American ideals. A ring of stars encircles the eagle, symbolizing the unity of the states, while bold lettering announces United States of America and $50. When well preserved, the reverse reveals crisp feather detail and strong contrast, making high-grade examples especially striking to collectors. Composition, size, and physical characteristics. The 1973 D. Kennedy $50 is composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs 11.34 grams, measures 30.6 in diameter, and has a reeded edge. These specifications align with modern $50, yet the coin's overall finish, particularly in mint-set condition, often appears sharper and more refined than circulation strikes from later decades. Visual appeal in high-grade condition. In uncirculated or near-gem condition, the 1973 D $50 can display impressive mint luster, clean fields, and sharply struck devices. Many collectors seek examples graded MS65 or higher, where the coin exhibits strong eye appeal and minimal contact marks. Coins with frosty brilliance or subtle tunning patterns are especially admired, as they enhance the artistic depth of the design and elevate the coin beyond its face value significance. Rarity explained, scarcity through distribution. While not rare in absolute numbers, the 1973 D. Kennedy $50 is considered scarcer in collector-grade condition because it was never released into circulation. Its availability depended almost entirely on the survival of intact mint sets. Over time, many sets were broken apart or mishandled, reducing the population of premium examples. This controlled distribution model makes high-quality pieces increasingly difficult to locate today, particularly those certified by major grading services. Condition sensitivity and collector demand. Condition plays a decisive role in determining the desirability of this coin. Lower-grade examples may be accessible, but true collector demand centers on sharply struck, unblemished specimens. Coins graded MS66 or MS67 are notably challenging to find and command strong premiums. Even slight abrasions or dull surfaces can significantly affect value, reinforcing the importance of careful evaluation and professional grading. 11. Varieties and subtle collectible differences. Although major dramatic errors are uncommon, collectors often study the 1973 D issue for minor die variations, strike strength differences, and luster characteristics. Subtle distinctions in lettering sharpness or field texture can influence desirability. Some enthusiasts also seek exceptionally well-centered strikes or coins with attractive natural tunning, which can elevate otherwise standard examples into standout collectibles. 12. Market value and price range. In today's market, the value of a 1973 D. Kennedy $50 varies widely by condition. Typical uncirculated examples often trade in the $10 to $25 range, while certified pieces in MS65 may range from $40 to $80. High-end examples graded MS66 to MS67 can realistically reach $150 to $500 or more, depending on eye appeal and demand. These values reflect steady collector interest rather than speculation, supported by auction records and long-term trends, investment perspective, and long-term appeal. From an investment standpoint, the 1973 D. Kennedy $50 offers steady, conservative growth potential rather than dramatic spikes. Its appeal lies in its historical placement, collector scarcity in top grades, and consistent demand from Kennedy series specialists. As interest in complete date and mint collections continues, well-preserved examples are likely to appreciate gradually, making them reliable long-term holdings. Collecting tips and preservation advice. Collectors are encouraged to prioritize certified examples from reputable grading services, especially when targeting higher grades. Purchasing from established dealers or trusted auctions helps ensure authenticity and quality. Proper storage is essential. Coins should be housed in inert holders, kept away from moisture, and handled only by the edges. Engaging with numismatic communities, price guides, and auction archives can also provide valuable insights into evolving market trends. A lasting symbol of history and craftsmanship. In conclusion, the 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollar stands as a compelling blend of history, artistry, and controlled rarity. Its connection to a pivotal era, combined with its elegant design and limited method of distribution, makes it a prized collectible for enthusiasts worldwide. As a tangible connection to America's past and a refined example of modern U.S. minting, this coin continues to captivate collectors, rewarding those who pursue it with both historical satisfaction and enduring value. For anyone building a meaningful Kennedy half-dollar collection, the 1973 D remains a worthy and rewarding addition, truly a treasured piece of numismatic heritage. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar stands as a fascinating and emotionally powerful coin within American numismatics, captivating enthusiasts with its blend of history, symbolism, and enduring collector appeal. Often described as a prized treasure of modern U.S. coinage, this half-dollar continues to attract strong market interest due to its iconic design, transitional era production, and the reverence associated with President John F. Kennedy. Whether bearing the Denver D mint mark or struck without a mint mark at Philadelphia, the 1972 issue holds a special place in collections worldwide, admired for its legacy and steadily growing demand. Minted during a period of economic change and cultural reflection, the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar was produced less than a decade after the nation mourned the loss of President Kennedy. Introduced in 1964 as a tribute to his legacy, the series had by 1972 transitioned fully into copper-nickel-clad composition, reflecting rising silver prices and shifting mint policies. These coins served both as circulating currency and symbolic keepsakes, acting as a tangible connection to America's recent past during a time of political and social transformation. Within the broader Kennedy half-dollar series, the 1972 issue represents an important midpoint between the early silver era and later modern minting practices. Coins from this year were struck at the Denver Mint with a D mint mark, and at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, reinforcing the traditional U.S. system where Philadelphia issues typically lacked identifying marks. This dual mint production adds depth to the series and encourages collectors to pursue complete year-end mint sets. The obverse features Gilroy Roberts' dignified portrait of President John F. Kennedy, facing left with a calm yet resolute expression. The inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" frame the design, while the date 1972 anchors the coin firmly in its historical era. In high-grade condition, the sharp hair detail and frosted surfaces create striking visual contrast, enhancing the coin's aesthetic appeal and making premium examples especially desirable to collectors. Reverse design and artistic detail. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's powerful presidential seal dominates the composition, with a heraldic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing strength and peace. A ring of stars represents the original states, while United States of America and half-dollar complete the authoritative design. Well-preserved 1972 examples often display crisp feather detail and strong rim definition, attributes that significantly elevate collector interest. Composition and physical characteristics. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar measures 30.6 mm in diameter and weighs 11.34 grams, composed of a copper-nickel-clad outer layer bonded to a pure copper core. Although no longer struck in silver, these coins retain a substantial feel that many collectors find appealing. Their durability allowed them to survive circulation, though truly pristine examples remain elusive decades later. Mint marks and production variations. Coins struck at the Denver Mint carry the D mint mark beneath Kennedy's neck, while Philadelphia Mint examples were issued without a mint mark, a detail that continues to intrigue new collectors. Subtle differences in strike quality between the mints further enhance the appeal, with Denver coins often displaying stronger details, while Philadelphia pieces sometimes show softer strikes but smoother surfaces. 8. Rarity factors and collector demand. While overall mintages were substantial, genuine rarity emerges in high-grade uncirculated and gem conditions. Coins that avoided heavy bag marks, surface abrasions, or dull luster are increasingly difficult to locate. This conditioned scarcity, rather than low production numbers, drives strong collector demand and elevates premium examples into the category of ultra-desirable modern classics. Condition sensitivity and grading. Condition plays a decisive role in the value of the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar. Coins graded MS-65 or higher by professional services are particularly sought after, as they showcase full luster, sharp design elements, and minimal contact marks. Certified specimens provide collectors with confidence and long-term security, making them preferred choices in competitive numismatic markets, error coins, and special interest varieties. Certain 1972 Kennedy half-dollars have gained additional attention due to minor die variations, strike anomalies, or off-center errors. While major double die varieties are scarce, even subtle minting irregularities can significantly increase desirability. These pieces add excitement to the hunt and offer advanced collectors opportunities to acquire something truly distinctive. Market value overview. In today's market, circulated examples typically trade in the $3 to $10 range, while uncirculated coins often command $20 to $75, depending on eye appeal. Certified high-grade pieces, particularly MS-66 and above, can realistically range from $150 to over $600, with exceptional examples or error varieties reaching even higher levels through auctions or private sales. Investment trends and appreciation. The long-term outlook for the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar remains positive. Growing interest in mid-20th century U.S. coinage, combined with nostalgia and limited high-grade survivors, supports steady appreciation. Collectors increasingly recognize these coins as undervalued historical artifacts rather than mere modern issues. Collecting tips for enthusiasts. Collectors are advised to prioritize certified high-grade examples, especially when pursuing Denver-minted or pristine Philadelphia pieces. Careful inspection for luster quality, strike sharpness, and surface preservation is essential. Purchasing from reputable dealers or established auction platforms ensures authenticity and fair market pricing. Preservation and storage advice. Proper storage is critical to maintaining value. Coins should be housed in protective holders or slabs, kept away from humidity, and handled minimally. Avoid cleaning or polishing, as such actions permanently damage surfaces and drastically reduce collector value. In conclusion, the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, whether bearing the D mint mark or issued without a mint mark, represents a compelling fusion of history, artistry, and collectible appeal. As a tangible connection to a pivotal era in American memory, it continues to captivate enthusiasts and stands as a prized treasure within modern U.S. numismatics. For collectors seeking lasting value, historical depth, and visual elegance, this coin remains a rewarding and meaningful addition to any serious collection. Next up, the 1974 D. Kennedy half-dollar is part of one of the most iconic coin series in United States history. The Kennedy half-dollar was first introduced in 1964, shortly after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy in November 1963. The nation was in mourning, and the U.S. Mint decided to honor the late president by placing his portrait on the half-dollar coin. The design was prepared very quickly, using a portrait originally created by Chief Engraver Gilroy Roberts for Kennedy's presidential medal. The reverse of the coin, featuring the presidential seal, was designed by Frank Gasparro. By 1974, The coin had already become a symbol of American remembrance and national pride. The 1974 D version was minted at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small D mint mark located on the obverse front of the coin, just below President Kennedy's neck and above the date. During this time, half dollars were no longer made of silver for circulation. From 1965 to 1970, Kennedy halves contained 40% silver, but starting in 1971, the composition was changed to a copper-nickel-clad mixture. Therefore, the 1974 D Kennedy half dollar is made of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This change was made because rising silver prices in the 1960s caused people to hoard silver coins, leading to shortages in circulation. In 1974, the Denver Mint produced a large number of Kennedy half dollars for circulation. The total mintage of the 1974 D coin was over 79 million pieces. Despite this high production number, half dollars were not widely used in daily commerce by the mid-1970s. Many Americans saved them as collectibles or souvenirs rather than spending them. As a result, many 1974 D half dollars survived in decent condition compared to other circulating coins of the same era. Design-wise, the obverse of the 1974 D Kennedy half dollar features a left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy. The word liberty appears along the top edge of the coin, while the phrase "In God We Trust" is split on either side of Kennedy's neck. The year 1974 appears at the bottom. On the reverse side, the coin displays a heraldic eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing peace and strength. Above the eagle are stars arranged in a circular pattern, representing the states of the Union, and the inscriptions, United States of America and half dollar, surround the design. In terms of value, the 1974 D Kennedy half dollar is generally not rare in circulated condition because of its high mintage and clad composition. Most circulated examples are worth face value, which is 50 cents. However, coins in uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services, can sell for higher premiums. High-grade examples with strong luster and minimal contact marks may be worth several dollars, and exceptional gem specimens can bring even more among collectors. There are also rare error coins from 1974 D, such as double dies or off-center strikes, which can significantly increase value. Although the 1974 D Kennedy half dollar does not contain silver and is not considered ultra-rare, it remains historically important as part of the Kennedy series. It represents a period in American coinage when the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned away from precious metal coinage for circulating coins. For collectors, it is an affordable and meaningful piece of American history, especially for those building a complete Kennedy half dollar collection. Next up, the 1971 D Kennedy half dollar is an important coin in United States history because it marked the beginning of a new era for the Kennedy half dollar series. After President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in 1963, the U.S. Mint quickly introduced the Kennedy half dollar in 1964 as a tribute to the fallen president. From 1964 to 1970, these coins contained silver, 90% silver in 1964, and 40% silver from 1965–1970. However, due to rising silver prices and hoarding by the public, the U.S. government decided to remove silver completely from circulation half dollars. As a result, 1971 was the first year the Kennedy half dollar was struck in a copper-nickel clad composition for regular circulation, and the 1971 D was part of this historic transition. The D mint mark on the 1971 D Kennedy half dollar represents the Denver Mint, where the coin was produced. The mint mark can be found on the obverse front of the coin, just below President Kennedy's neck and above the date. In 1971, the Denver Mint struck a large number of these coins for circulation. The total mintage of the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar was over 302 million coins, making it very common compared to earlier silver issues. Because of this high production, the coin is widely available today in circulated condition. The design of the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar remained the same as earlier versions. The obverse was designed by Gilroy Roberts, featuring a left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy. The reverse was designed by Frank Gasparro, showing the presidential seal with a heraldic eagle holding an olive branch and arrows. Above the eagle are 50 stars representing the states, and the words United States of America and half-dollar surround the design. Even though the composition changed, the powerful patriotic design remained untouched. In terms of metal composition, the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar is made of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs 11.34 grams and has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters. Unlike the earlier silver coins, this clad composition gives the edge of the coin a visible copper stripe. This was one of the easiest ways for collectors and the public to distinguish the new non-silver coins from the older silver issues. When it comes to value, the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar is generally worth face value, 50 cents, in circulated condition because of its high mintage and common availability. In uncirculated condition, mint state, it can sell for a few dollars depending on grade and condition. High-grade examples graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services can be worth more, sometimes ranging from $20 to $100 or more depending on demand and eye appeal. However, it is important to understand that this coin is not considered rare in normal condition. Although the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar is not rare, it holds historical significance as the first year of the clad Kennedy half-dollar series. It represents the end of silver in circulating half-dollars and reflects economic changes in the United States during the early 1970s. For collectors, it is an important coin to complete a Kennedy half-dollar set, especially for those building a full daytime mint collection. Today, the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar remains a popular coin among beginners and experienced collectors alike. While it may not make someone rich overnight, it carries strong historical value and represents a major shift in U.S. coinage history. It stands as a reminder of both President Kennedy's legacy and the economic changes that shaped American coin production in the modern era. Next up, the 1985 P. Kennedy half-dollar is part of the long-running Kennedy half-dollar series that began in 1964, shortly after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy in November 1963. The coin was introduced as a tribute to the late president, and it quickly became one of the most emotionally significant coins in United States history. By 1985, the coin had already been in production for over 2 decades and had transitioned from being made of silver to a copper-nickel clad composition. The 1985 P half-dollar was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is indicated by the P mint mark located on the obverse front of the coin, just below the date and above Kennedy's shoulder. The design of the 1985 P Kennedy half-dollar remained consistent with the original artwork created in 1964. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Chief Engraver Gilroy Roberts. The word Liberty is inscribed along the top edge, "In God We Trust," appears below Kennedy's chin, and the date 1985 is shown at the bottom. The reverse design, created by Frank Gasparro, displays the presidential seal of the United States. It features a heraldic eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing peace and strength. Above the eagle are rays and stars, representing the states, while the inscriptions, United States of America and half-dollar, encircle the rim. By 1985, The Kennedy half-dollar was no longer widely used in everyday circulation. Although it was still produced for circulation, most Americans preferred using smaller denominations like quarters and dollar bills. Because of this reduced demand, many 1985 P half-dollars were saved directly in bank rolls or by collectors rather than being heavily circulated. The total mintage for the 1985 P Kennedy half-dollar was approximately 2,876,488 coins, which is relatively low compared to earlier years in the series. This lower mintage makes it more collectible than many other modern Kennedy halves. In terms of composition, the 1985 P half-dollar is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving it a total weight of 11.34 grams and a diameter of 30.6 millimeters. Unlike the 1964 issue, which contained 90% silver, and the 1965-1970 issues that had 40% silver, the 1985 version contains no silver. Its value is therefore primarily based on condition and collector demand, rather than precious metal content. When it comes to value in today's market, a 1985 P Kennedy half-dollar in circulated condition is generally worth its face value of 50 cents. However, uncirculated examples can sell for $2 to $5, depending on their grade and eye appeal. High-grade specimens graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services can command higher premiums, sometimes reaching $20 to $50 or more if they exhibit strong luster and minimal marks. Proof versions were also produced in 1985, but those were struck at the San Francisco Mint with an S mint mark and are separate from the Philadelphia issue. An interesting aspect of the 1985 P Kennedy half-dollar is its place in the modern, low mintage era of the series. During the 1980s, mintages were significantly lower compared to the millions produced in the 1960s and 1970s. This has made certain 1980s half-dollars, including the 1985 P, more appealing to collectors building daytime mint sets. While it is not considered a rare coin in the traditional sense, high-grade examples with strong strike quality are harder to find due to bag marks from storage. Historically, the Kennedy half-dollar series represents more than just currency. It symbolizes a moment in American history when the nation sought to honor a fallen leader. By 1985, the coin had become a staple of U.S. numismatics, appreciated more by collectors than by the general public. Today, the 1985 P Kennedy half-dollar stands as a reminder of the continued legacy of President Kennedy and the evolving patterns of U.S. coin production. Next up, the 1993 D Kennedy half-dollar was minted at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small D mint mark located on the obverse front side of the coin, just below President Kennedy's neck and above the date. The Kennedy half-dollar series was first introduced in 1964, shortly after the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy in November 1963. The coin was created to honor his legacy and quickly became one of the most collected modern U.S. coins. By 1993, the Kennedy half-dollar had already been in circulation for nearly 3 decades and had become a symbolic and historic American coin. The 1993 D Kennedy half-dollar was struck in a copper-nickel clad composition, not silver. From 1965 onward, except special silver issues, half-dollars were made of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs 11.34 grams, has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and features a reeded edge. The obverse design was created by Gilroy Roberts, showing a left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy. The reverse design, created by Frank Gasparo, displays the presidential seal with a heraldic eagle holding arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing military strength and peace. In 1993, The Denver Mint produced approximately 15,510,000 Kennedy half dollars. Compared to earlier decades, this mintage was moderate but not extremely low. By the 1990s, half dollars were no longer widely used in everyday circulation. Most of them were produced mainly for collectors and were stored in bank vaults rather than actively circulating in commerce. Because of this, many 1993 D half dollars can still be found in relatively good condition today. In terms of value, the 1993 D Kennedy half dollar is generally worth face value, 50 cents in circulated condition. However, in uncirculated mint state, MS, condition, it can be worth between $2 to $10, depending on its grade and overall quality. High-grade examples such as MS66 or MS67, certified by professional grading services, can sell for significantly more, sometimes reaching $50 to $150 or higher, depending on market demand. It is important to understand that this coin is not considered ultra-rare, and it does not typically reach thousands or millions of dollars in value unless it has a very rare mint error. Some collectors look for mint errors on the 1993 D Kennedy half dollar. Possible valuable errors include double strikes, off-center strikes, clip planchets, or die cracks. If a major and dramatic mint error is discovered in excellent condition, the value can increase substantially. However, normal coins without errors remain common in the collector market. Historically, the Kennedy half dollar represents more than just currency. It reflects American history, national mourning, and political legacy. Even though by 1993 the coin was not widely used in daily transactions, it remained a strong collector favorite. Many Americans saved Kennedy half dollars as keepsakes, especially older silver versions, which reduced circulation numbers even further. Today, the 1993 D Kennedy half dollar is appreciated mainly by modern coin collectors who aim to complete daytime mint mark sets. While it may not make someone instantly rich, it remains an important piece of U.S. numismatic history. Its value lies not only in money, but also in its historical significance and connection to President John F. Kennedy. Next up, the 2017 P. Kennedy half dollar is part of the long-running Kennedy half dollar series that began in 1964, shortly after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963. The coin was introduced as a tribute to the late president, and it quickly became one of the most collected modern U.S. coins. The 2017 P version was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is indicated by the small P mint mark located on the obverse front of the coin, just below the date and to the right of Kennedy's portrait. Although Philadelphia coins before 1980 often did not carry a mint mark, modern issues like the 2017 P clearly display the P. The design of the 2017 P. Kennedy half dollar remains faithful to the original 1964 artwork. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy designed by Gilray Roberts, who was the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. The inscriptions Liberty appear along the top edge. In God We Trust is split on both sides of the neck, and the year, 2017, appears below the portrait. The reverse design, created by Frank Gasparo, displays the presidential seal of the United States. It shows a heraldic eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing peace and strength. Above the eagle are 13 stars representing the original colonies. Unlike the early Kennedy halves made of 90% silver in 1964 and 40% silver from 1965-1970, the 2017 P. Kennedy half dollar is composed of copper-nickel clad. It contains an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The total weight is 11.34 grams, and the diameter is 30.61. Because it contains no silver, its intrinsic metal value is equal only to its face value of 50 cents, unless the coin is in exceptional condition. In terms of mintage, the 2017 P. Kennedy half dollar was not produced for general circulation in large numbers like quarters or dimes. Since 2002, most Kennedy half dollars have been struck primarily for collectors rather than for everyday use in circulation. The 2017 P was issued in mint sets and also sold in rolls and bags directly by the U.S. Mint. This makes it less commonly seen in daily transactions, although it is still legal tender. The value of the 2017 P. Kennedy half dollar today generally remains close to its face value in circulated condition. However, uncirculated examples taken directly from mint rolls or official mint sets can carry a small premium among collectors. Coins graded in very high mint state conditions, such as MS67 or higher by professional grading services, may command higher prices due to their superior preservation and eye appeal. Special varieties, errors, or coins with exceptional strike quality can also increase in value. Historically, the Kennedy half dollar represents more than just currency. It symbolizes a period of national mourning and respect. Even though the 2017 P issue is a modern coin without silver content, it continues the legacy of honoring President Kennedy's memory more than 5 decades after the series began. For collectors, it is part of a complete date-hand mint collection, and for history enthusiasts, it stands as a continuation of one of America's most iconic coin designs. Next up in 2. The 1981 D. Kennedy half dollar stands as a fascinating and increasingly appreciated piece within modern American numismatics, captivating enthusiasts with its blend of history, craftsmanship, and subtle rarity. Though often overlooked at first glance, this Denver minted issue has steadily gained attention among collectors who recognize its importance within the long-running Kennedy half dollar series. Its appeal lies not only in its connection to a transformative era in U.S. coinage, but also in the challenge of locating well-preserved examples. For many numismatists, the 1981 D represents a prized treasure that rewards careful study, patient searching, and a deep appreciation for late 20th century American coinage. Introduction, continued, collector appeal and demand. What makes the 1981 D. Kennedy half dollar especially captivating is its position at the crossroads between circulation coinage and collector-focused production. Although not traditionally classified among classic rarities, its limited availability in high grades has elevated its desirability. Collectors today increasingly seek this issue as part of complete Kennedy sets, and demand has risen as pristine examples become harder to locate. This growing interest has transformed the coin into a quiet standout, admired for its understated rarity and long-term potential in the numismatic marketplace. Historical context, era of production. The 1981 D. Kennedy half dollar was minted during a period of economic transition in the United States, marked by inflation concerns, changing monetary policy, and evolving public attitudes toward coin usage. By the early 1980s, half dollars were no longer commonly used in everyday commerce, which significantly influenced production decisions at the U.S. Mint. As a result, coins from this period occupy a unique historical niche, reflecting a time when circulating coinage was gradually giving way to collector-driven demand. Historical context, role within the Kennedy series. Within the broader Kennedy half dollar series that began in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy, the 1981 D issue represents a later chapter that emphasizes continuity rather than transition. It carries forward the enduring tribute to Kennedy's legacy, while marking an era when the coin's role had shifted from circulation staple to collector favorite. The Denver Mint's involvement underscores the nationwide effort to maintain the series, even as mintages and distribution methods evolved. Historical significance and cultural connection. The Kennedy half dollar has always served as a tangible connection to one of the most influential figures in American history, and the 1981 D issue continues that tradition. Produced less than 2 decades after Kennedy's assassination, the coin still resonated strongly with the public as a symbol of national memory and unity. Holding this piece today offers collectors a direct physical link to that enduring legacy, blending historical reflection with numismatic artistry. Unique features, obverse design. The obverse of the 1981 D. Kennedy $50 features Gilroy Roberts' iconic left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy. The design captures a dignified and youthful likeness, framed by the word liberty along the upper rim and the national motto "In God We Trust" below. The date 1981 appears cleanly beneath the portrait, and in high-grade examples, the sharpness of the hair detail and facial contours gives the coin a striking visual presence that collectors deeply admire. Unique features, reverse design. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's presidential seal design dominates the composition, displaying a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, a shield on its chest, and an olive branch and arrows clutched in its talons. Surrounding the eagle are 50 stars, symbolizing the unity of the states. The inscriptions, United States of America and $50, complete the design. When well preserved, the reverse exhibits strong detail in the feathers and shield lines, enhancing the coin's overall aesthetic appeal, composition, size, and technical details. The 1981 D. Kennedy $50 is composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure, with a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper-nickel alloy. It weighs approximately 11.34 grams and measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter, maintaining the standard specifications introduced after the removal of silver from circulating halves. While lacking precious metal content, its solid feel and balanced proportions contribute to its enduring popularity among collectors. Mint mark and identifying characteristics. The distinguishing D mint mark, located just above the date on the obverse, signifies its production at the Denver Mint. This small but crucial detail plays a significant role in identification and collectability. Sharp, well-defined mint marks are especially prized, as weaker strikes are common on coins from this era. Collectors often examine this area closely when assessing quality and originality, rarity factors, and limited availability. Although the 1981 D. Kennedy $50 is not rare in absolute mintage terms, its true scarcity emerges in high-grade condition. Many examples were struck primarily for collectors or stored in sets, yet improper storage over time has led to tunning, marks, or surface dullness. As a result, coins in brilliant, uncirculated, or near-perfect condition are far less common than raw mintage figures suggest, contributing to their growing desirability. Condition sensitivity and grading importance. Condition plays a decisive role in determining the value and appeal of the 1981 D issue. Coins graded MS65 and above display strong luster, clean fields, and minimal contact marks, making them highly sought after. At even higher grades, such as MS67 or finer, examples become genuinely scarce, often commanding strong premiums. This sensitivity to condition has made professional grading an essential step for serious collectors seeking top-tier specimens. Market value and price ranges. In today's collector market, a typical circulated or lightly worn 1981 D. Kennedy $50 may trade close to face value, but uncirculated pieces tell a very different story. Well-preserved examples can range from approximately $10 to $50, while certified high-grade coins may reach $150 to $500 or more, depending on eye appeal and registry demand. Exceptional specimens with superior luster or strike quality have been known to achieve even higher prices in competitive auctions. Value drivers and long-term appreciation. Several factors contribute to the steady appreciation of the 1981 D. Kennedy $50, including its place in a widely collected series, its limited high-grade population, and its strong visual appeal. As collectors increasingly focus on completing high-quality date-and mint sets, demand for premium examples continues to rise. The coin's historical symbolism and recognizable design further enhance its long-term investment potential. Collecting tips and preservation advice. Collectors seeking this coin should prioritize certified examples from reputable grading services to ensure authenticity and condition accuracy. Careful inspection for contact marks, weak strikes, or surface spotting is essential when evaluating raw pieces. Proper storage in protective holders or archival quality albums helps preserve luster and prevent environmental damage. Engaging with numismatic communities, auctions, and trusted dealers can also provide valuable insights into market trends and acquisition opportunities. A prized treasure for modern numismatics. In conclusion, the 1981 D. Kennedy half-dollar represents a compelling blend of history, artistry, and subtle rarity that continues to captivate enthusiasts worldwide. As a tangible connection to America's past and a meaningful chapter in the Kennedy series, it stands as a prized treasure for both seasoned collectors and newcomers alike. Its enduring appeal, growing market recognition, and elegant design make it a rewarding pursuit and a strong long-term addition to any serious numismatic collection.